I'm going to turn to a little bit of technology now, and really just, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but just to say that, you know, an insurance company today has to have automation from end to end. You cannot compete with, you know, the Norwich Unions and the Liverpool Victorias and all these people unless you have automation end to end, because their cost is really contained by the fact that they have no manual processes, they have no paper in the systems at all, and everything happens through computer systems. Very visible to the executives on a daily basis. They can see how many policies were sold in Burnley, how many white cars do they insure in London, and how many they want to do, you know, in Nottingham tomorrow. So that's the kind of infrastructure you have to have in place. And all I'm saying in this slide is, first of all, your customer has to be in contact with you through your computer systems, all the way through to the back end. And the back end is your partner network. You know, if you're in car insurance, you have to have a network of garages that fix the cars, you know, when there's an accident. You know, and today's insurance company is more about customer service around the accident than it is about the underwriting insurance policy. So this is the kind of infrastructure end-to-end that insurance companies have to have. The other thing is that in the markets we're in, it's not just a direct to your customer market. There is this horrible thing called the aggregator that sits in the middle now. You probably see them on the TV all the time. Comparethemarket.com, you know, confused.com. These are the people that are really driving the price point of insurance in the UK today. So you know, you have to be very conscious, that you are visible on the aggregator website. Plus, you have to be able to, in real time, monitor what's happening. Okay? You need to be able to change your rates, your premiums, almost by the hour as you see the other players, you know, moving their premiums up and down to capture market share. And it's as dynamic as that. And if you're not able to do that from day one, you know, you're not going to really survive in these competitive markets. Now, let's also look at, you know, what are the expectations of people today, right? Generation Y, you know, everybody hears about Generation Y, the young people who know all about technology and use it constantly. Well, the fact remains that, you know, their expectations are much higher than, you know, people of my generation. And they see things like, you know, FedEx, where they can track their parcel as it goes all around the world. Well, they say to the insurer, why can't I track the repair of my car, you know, as it's going through your system? So without that technology, you're going to be a little bit behind the leading edge when it comes to capturing the young market. You know, and if you capture the young market, they're the ones who stay with you for 30 years, right? You know, and if I try to calculate how much I spent on car insurance since I started growing, it's thousands and thousands of pounds. And it's been with one insurance company. And by the way, I've never had an accident, so they've made a big profit out of me. So this is what I'm saying here is that you've got to catch them young, you've got to be able to service their requirements, and for that we need technology. Okay, now the other kind of factors that I think are important from a technology point of view is that we are moving from an era where technology was all proprietary, okay? And you had to pay millions of pounds to acquire it and to exploit it. And more we're moving into a world where it's a kind of public utility. You can almost get it like electricity out of the wall. And more software companies are offering their technology in that way. You know? And we're happy to do that too. Right? So you pay by the click rather than pay £1 million up front. And that changes the model, it changes the whole of your economic outlook in the way that you want to exploit technology. I think that's a very important background, you know, dynamic that's going on, which we all need to realise. Then I think there is another kind of phenomenon going on, which is that information, data, is freely available. It's being captured everywhere. Right? You know, from an insurance company point of view, interesting that a car today has more computer power than mainframes used to have 35 years ago when I first joined the industry. And it's capturing data all the time. And that data is accessible because of Wi-Fi and this and that and the other, and you go on the internet into computer systems and you capture. So in that environment, you can actually make your underwriting models, your actuarial models, much more accurate than you could do 20, 30 years ago. And finally, of course, there's this wonderful thing called social networking. And in here, I think, lies, for us, the secret of how we get to the markets that we want to serve. Right? Because we know that if we want to be successful with Takaful, we've got to get to the Muslim populations in the UK. And we know that they have certain social habits, we know that they have lifestyles, and those lifestyles are all being captured by things like social networking. Right? So I think that here is a technology that's really fundamental if we want to get to the people that we want to make this sort of offering attractive. So the key for me is, I've given you a picture of technologies, lots of it around, huge amounts of technology around that can do huge amounts of things. And the one thing that, one message I'd like you to take with you is that it's off the critical path from the point of view of cost. Right? In the old days, not even the old days, 5 years ago, you'd have to pay £2 or £3 million just for the software to run the kind of things that I've been talking about. Now, that technology you can buy by a click now. Right? So it's become a variable cost commodity.